gentlemen, let's keep it to that second game of the Saturday doubleheader, the season finale to 2021-2022. There is a chance that they could face each other in the playoffs, these two teams. Which is more dangerous as a wild card opponent, though? The Cowboys, Chris, or the Eagles?
I have to go with the boys, and for a couple reasons. And number one, in the wild card round, we know that these teams are marginal as far as what their season's been. But if you can happen to be the team that won the division, you're going to get a home game. So that gives them a definite edge. And I'll just go to the quarterback position. I believe that Dak Prescott, in a battle against these elite quarterbacks that we have in the NFC, that he is a better match. Like, would I be surprised if he throws for 300 yards? No, I wouldn't. Now, on the other side with Philadelphia, yes, they can run for a lot of yards, but I would be shocked if they're able to throw for 250, 275, 300, or if they get into a shootout. Which team would I rather have? And that's where I give the boys the edge. Even though the last 6 weeks they haven't played their best football, I believe they collectively, they have more talent and what they can do from a defensive standpoint as far as putting pressure on the quarterback. They got a couple of guys that can wreck your game on that defensive side of the ball.
No doubt, Chris. And there's a lot to like about the Cowboys. I don't trust the Cowboys. And I feel like in a weird way, I trust Philadelphia more. Both these teams, the secret about them is they haven't beaten anybody. Like the Eagles are hearing it this week that they're the NFC Dolphins, that they haven't beaten anybody. And we saw what happened to the Dolphins when they finally played the Titans. Dallas hasn't either. They beat a Saints team that was really banged up and ravaged and had no Kamara. But other than that, every team they play that matters, be it the Cardinals, Raiders, Chiefs, they lose to. If someone were to not have watched football for the last 5 years and said, tell me about this Cowboys team, what are they like? They think they're a running team, but they also pass, and sometimes their defense plays really well, but sometimes it does nothing. They have a lot of famous players. What's this Eagles team like? Oh, they're great. They run the hell out of it. They got this great athlete at quarterback. Their defense isn't that great, but it doesn't really have to be because they run so much. It's a weird thing. Like, they know who they are. They've won 6 of 7 games. The Cowboys are fancier, and the Cowboys are more famous and way more explosive and probably more talented. But I trust the Eagles more because Dallas, I just don't really know what they are, and I don't think they do either. I think it's Philadelphia, actually.
Yeah, now look, if the Eagles are down 21-0 in the first half, it's done. I don't see Jalen Hurts saying, hey, I got you, let me throw out of this thing. But styles make fights, Chris. You said it yesterday, and I'm wearing the Madden shirt today. Is there a team that personifies John Madden more than the 2021 Philadelphia Eagles? 3-6 at one point, and they say, let's totally change who we are. Let's have an identity, and let's just shove the ball down your throat. I look at the way they run the ball, and I say, I don't want to see that in January. That hurts. I don't want to see Lane Johnson lining up against me. I don't want to see Kelsey. I certainly don't want to see these guys, whether it be Scott or Howard or if Miles Sanders plays with a broken hand. I don't care. I don't want to see the Eagles in late January in a game because they know exactly who they are. And they just pile on once they get started. 175 rushing yards in 8 straight games. Are you serious? And then we had the great Scott Pioli on yesterday, and he was talking about the offensive line and mentioned the name Stoutland. I gotta give shout out to Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach, for what he has done with this unit, which I think early in the season they weren't considered one of the best units in the league. Jeff Stoutland has mentored Jordan Mailata into being one of the best tackles in the league. He has worked with all these young players. He's gotten the most out of Kelsey and Lane Johnson. And if there's a team that has a Madden identity heading into January and February football, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not calling the Cowboys soft by any means. Any team that has Micah Parsons and Lawrence and Gregory, they're not soft by any means. And they've got a great offensive line, too. But the Eagles seem like they have embodied the city, but also embodied that offensive line. And they've got the experience of doing it already. So I'm going to say Philadelphia.
The only problem with that is when you're one-dimensional, when I take away
it's fair.
your punch, what are you going to do? You're going to rely on that quarterback to be able to throw the football? Now, I do like the overall physicality because you're talking about a unit. You're not talking about a guy. And I do believe unit football is good. That offensive line, Stoutland, that's real. That's brick and mortar. Like, they are going to have to be dealt with. So I do understand your argument there.
Doesn't it just depend on matchups, to your point? Like, say it's the opponent, right? You say it's the Rams. The Rams have one of the best corners, the best corner in the game. They've got 2 awesome pass rushers. They're built to take on not an Eagles team. In fact, run teams have run. I want the Bucks. I want if I'm the Rams, I want the Cowboys. I want a team that can go through the air a little bit because I'm built for speed and I'm built for that. Teams that that run, I don't want that. We've seen them struggle against teams like the Niners, the Titans, the Ravens. They're built more for speed than for and for stopping the pass, I think. And I think the Eagles could give them problems. I wouldn't want to see the Eagles then. But if you're the Bucs, don't you want? What am I saying? I'm thinking I have the opposite. If I'm the Bucs, I absolutely want the Cowboys, not the Eagles, right?
Yeah, and the Bucs have already beaten the Cowboys.
No, if I'm the Bucs, I want the Eagles because I can stop the run.
That's
It
true.
depends on the matchup, to me, is what I'm
yes.
saying. How much is the matchup important? Like, what percentage of that is that in this?
Massive.
Because the Rams, if they lose this week and the Cardinals take the division, they have a chance of playing Dallas, which I think is a better scenario for them, right?
Sure, I think so. What's funny is that we're talking about these run games, and it's like Ezekiel Elliott and Zach
Bigger
Martin,
names.
and Peter's like, we're
Boston
showing clips of
Scott.
Boston Scott, and I get it, man.
Yeah.
Like I get it. The fame and the jersey sale things have nothing to do right now. It's like who smashes faces right
And
now.
there's
It's
such a
Philly.
small thing. Like Lane Johnson wasn't voted to the Pro Bowl, and that doesn't
saw that.
matter. But like,
They're
of course,
mad.
that team has embodied that, and it's pissed them
perfect.
off. They're like, he's the best tackle in the league. He's not on the Pro Bowl, and like. Many markets that might not work, many teams that might not work. Eagles fans and that Eagle building, like, they rally around that. There's something to it because, like you said, they've done it before. The underdog mask, the whole thing, we're here again. 4 years later, it's the same story.
These game plans change in the playoffs.
Yeah.
These coaches, they don't get that 4-week sample size. They go into your numbers, and they know exactly what you're going to do. Anyone that lines up against the Eagles, they are lining up in a 7- and an 8-man box to start the game. Because they know those numbers. They know they've rushed for over 175 yards. So we're going to see if they can throw it up. We're going to make them throw the ball. And I just don't see this young football team, even though they've been great. And I think it's about the story and expectations. That's why Dallas, for the last 5 years, has nothing to do with once you get into the playoffs.